My younger brother Kael was squeezing the life out of my new silk shirt, his voice desperate. Sis, just help me this once. If Luna's brother agrees, I'll wash your socks every day and even grab you those limited edition lipsticks you want. I rolled my eyes, running my finger along the condensation on my coffee cup. When I chased that campus heartthrob back in the day, did I need to use cheap tricks like this? But despite my words, my ears perked up. Last week, Kael had snuck me a photo of Luna's brother. At 6 feet 1 inch, his athletic jacket clung to a frame that clearly had defined abs. Yeah, he was easy on the eyes. Half an hour later, I stepped out in my 4-inch stilettos, brand name bag in hand, and followed Kael into Maple Bean, a cafe off Michigan Avenue. A man sat by the window with his back to us. His black dress shirt was unbuttoned at the collar, revealing a sharp collarbone. 2 girls at the next table were pretending to take selfies, but their phones were obviously pointed his way, their screens glowing too brightly to be accidental. Hi there, I'm Elena, and I started, but the man looked up mid-sentence. My breath caught. It was the face I hadn't been able to fully forget in 3 years. Eli arched an eyebrow, his knuckles tapping the table with a sharp, rhythmic sound, his tone laced with sarcasm. Elena? 3 years later, and your flirting game is still this cheesy? You only know how to act like we're old friends? My bag slipped from my hand with a thud, 2 lipsticks rolling out onto the floor. Kael, still oblivious, leaned in eagerly. Dude, you know my sister? Perfect. So about me and Luna. Before you talk about you and Luna, ask your sister how she treated me back then, Eli scoffed. He stood up, closing the distance between us in a single step. The scent of cedar wrapped around me, sharp and overwhelming with authority. She blocked me on WeChat, WhatsApp, every phone number I had. She even threw the couple's bracelet I gave her in the trash. Did she ever think she'd be begging me for a favor today? Every eye in the cafe felt like a needle pricking my skin. I knelt down to grab my bag, but Eli caught my wrist before my fingers could reach the lipsticks. His grip was so tight it made my brow furrow. Trying to run? When you left me waiting in the pouring rain for 3 hours, then went to the movies with Kai right after, did you think about running then? Sis. You went to the movies with Kai too? Kael finally processed what was happening, his eyes wide. I wrenched my wrist free, forcing a calm tone. It's all a misunderstanding. Let's go. But just as my hand touched the door handle, Eli's voice stopped me, cold and unyielding. Elena, tomorrow's Northwestern University homecoming. If you dare show up, I'll read the love letter you wrote me, right under that ginkgo tree we used to hang out at, for the whole school to hear. On the drive home, Kael chattered non-stop from the passenger seat. Sis, you dated Luna's brother? And you went to the movies with Kai? How much else have you been hiding from me? I slammed on the brakes, making him grab the seatbelt in panic. Kael, if you mention this again, I'm cutting your allowance for the month, taking your tablet, and canceling your gaming account for good. He clamped his mouth shut, but mumbled under his breath as he got out. It's not like you're in the right. I ignored him, my mind a mess. How could Eli be Luna's brother? When we broke up, he'd clearly said he was an only child. Monday morning, I sprinted into the office by the Chicago River just as the clock hit time. I'd barely scanned my fingerprint when I saw my coworkers huddled around the bulletin board, whispering. Mia pulled me aside, her voice low. Elena, old Clark got transferred. The new boss is here today. Word is he's a big shot from headquarters, and he's an alum from Northwestern too. A bad feeling settled in my stomach. Before I could process it, Lily from the front desk ran over with a folder. Elena, Mr. Eli wants you in the conference room now. The new boss wants to meet the core team members. Mr. Eli? I froze, then followed Lily to the conference room. When the door opened, there was Eli in a tailored suit, his tablet still lit up as he whispered instructions to his assistant. He looked up at the sound of our entrance, his gaze locking onto mine, a faint, smirk playing at his lips. Miss Elena. Punctual, I see. The room went silent. Mia nudged my arm quietly. Elena, you know the new boss? Before I could answer, Eli picked up the microphone. I'm Eli, and I'll be in charge of the branch from now on. Let's do introductions, 1 minute each. Don't waste my time. When it was my turn, I forced myself to stand. Elena, from the strategy team. I've been here 2 years, mainly handling cultural tourism projects. Eli tapped his tablet, his tone flat but commanding. I've seen Ms. Elena's Chicago River Cultural Tourism Promotion Plan. The ideas are passable. The strategy team lead position is open, you'll take over starting today. The room erupted in murmurs. Old Clark had clearly promised the promotion to Samantha, who was tight with him. After the meeting, Eli called me into his office. He leaned back in his leather chair, his knuckles tapping the desk. Ms. Elena, don't mess up this role. A lot of people are watching you, and if you fail, you'll be embarrassing me. Mr. Eli, what exactly are you playing at? I slammed my hand on the desk, losing my patience. Eli looked up, a flicker of irritation in his eyes, but beneath it, a hint of something softer, something he was trying to hide. I just don't want talent like yours going to waste in a dead-end position at my company. Don't flatter yourself into thinking I have some special interest in you. I looked away, unable to meet his gaze. I'd never told him the real reason we broke up. Junior year, my mom had a sudden heart attack and needed surgery that cost $200,000. Joy had tracked me down, slamming the bill on the table. Leave Eli, and I'll pay this for you. If you don't, I'll tell him you only dated him for his money. Staring at my mom lying weak in the hospital bed, I'd had no choice but to agree. Then, on his birthday, I'd lied through my teeth. I was only with you for your money. I don't want to talk about the past, I said, turning to leave. But Eli stood up suddenly, grabbing my arm and pinning me against the door. His breath brushed my ear, his voice hard but trembling. Did Joy talk to you? I checked. You didn't pay for your mom's hospital bills. Kai helped you raise the money. My body went rigid, tears stinging my eyes. Eli brushed a tear from my cheek with his thumb, but his tone stayed gruff. Why are you crying? I didn't say I was blaming you. I just don't like being kept in the dark. Did you really think I couldn't find out? Just then, the office door swung open. Mia stood there with a stack of files, her face bright red with embarrassment. Did I pick a bad time? I'll just leave last week's project reports here. She dumped the files and fled, winking at me as she went. I pushed Eli away, straightening my clothes. Mr. Eli, if that's all, I'll get back to work. But he stopped me. Stay late tonight and revise the new cultural tourism proposal. I want it on my desk tomorrow morning. When I opened my mouth to argue, he added, I told my assistant to order takeout from that Hong Kong-style cafe you like for overtime dinner. In the weeks that followed, Eli's care for me was hidden behind sharp words and stubborn gestures. Every morning, a warm breakfast would appear on my desk, with a note in neat handwriting that left no room for argument. Skipping breakfast causes low blood sugar. Don't hold up the afternoon project meeting or drag the team down. Once, I worked late into the night. When I walked out of the office, he was leaning against his car, a thermos in hand, his tone icy. I'm going your way. Get in, I'll drive you back. I noticed the hand warmers on the passenger seat, but he looked away. Bought too many yesterday. They just go to waste if you don't take them. At a team dinner, Samantha tried to pick a fight, saying I was acting high and mighty now that I was lead. Eli happened to walk over, a bottle of wine in hand. His tone was calm, but there was a sharp edge to it. Samantha, Elena's swamped with the cultural tourism project. She doesn't have time to bicker with you. If you're free, go sort out last week's expense reports. Stop wasting everyone's time. Samantha clamped up immediately. Eli added, as if an afterthought, I just don't want the dinner ruined. It has nothing to do with you. On my birthday, I'd assumed he'd forgotten. But when I got off work, he was standing outside with a gift box. Before I could thank him, he shoved it into my hands. A client gave it to me. I don't need it, and it'd be a waste to throw away. Take it. When I opened it, my breath caught. It was the pearl necklace I'd casually pointed out in that jewelry store on Michigan Avenue last year. The price tag was still on it. My co-workers' glances grew more and more ambiguity. Mia pestered me with gossip every day. Elena, when did you and Mr. Eli get together? He even covered for you at the dinner. Obviously he likes you. I was about to explain when my phone rang. It was my mom. Elena, Kael says you're with Luna's brother? Bring him home this weekend, will you? Your dad's been asking about you nonstop. I sighed, turning around, and found Eli standing behind me, 2 movie tickets in his hand. His tone was gruff, but there was a hint of hope in it. Your mom asked. You can't make me lose face. I'll be at your place at 7 tonight. Don't be late, movie tickets are non-refundable. That weekend, I took Eli home. My mom's eyes lit up the second she saw him, firing off questions. Eli, what do your parents do? How did you and Elena meet? Eli didn't say much, but he subtly pushed the plate of sweet and sour ribs, my mom's favorite, toward her. Noticed your plate was empty, he said, avoiding her eyes. Just passing it over. Don't read into it. My dad mentioned he hadn't found anyone to play chess with lately. The next day, Eli showed up with a solid wood chess set. A friend didn't want it anymore. Figured it'd give your dad someone to play with, stop him from complaining about being bored. Kael followed Eli around, calling him brother-in-law non-stop. Eli never acknowledged it, but he slipped Kael the latest gaming console when no one was looking. A client gave it to me. I don't play games. Take it, but don't let it distract you from school. At the dinner table, my mom suddenly brought up the past. Elena, didn't you know Eli before? I remember you brought a boy home junior year. He looked a lot like him. My heart skipped a beat, but Eli spoke first. Ma'am, Elena and I were classmates in college. We worked on a project together, but lost touch after that. We only ran into each other again recently. He didn't mention the breakup. I let out a quiet breath, but I felt his hand squeeze mine under the table. After dinner, as Eli was leaving, he took my hand and turned to my parents. Uncle, Auntie, Elena and I are getting married next month. I stared at him in shock. His eyes were firm, his tone leaving no room for argument. I've talked to both our families. The date's set for the 15th, and I've booked a venue by Lake Michigan. Do you have any objections? My mom froze, then burst into tears. Elena, finally, someone who'll have you. My dad clapped Eli on the shoulder. Eli, Elena's got a stubborn streak. You'll have to be patient with her. A week before the wedding, Joy showed up unexpectedly. She was wearing a fancy dress, an envelope in her hand. Elena, I know I was wrong back then. Here's $200,000, take it as compensation. I hope you and Eli are happy. Before I could say anything, Eli appeared behind me, pushing the envelope back at her. Miss Joy, the past is the past. Elena doesn't need your compensation. And don't come looking for her again, otherwise, I can't promise what I'll do. Joy's face turned pale, and she left in a hurry. I looked at Eli. How did you get here? He looked away, just passing by. Saw you talking to her and didn't want you to get bullied. I smiled, not calling him out on the lie. My mom had told me earlier that Eli had asked her for Joy's contact info, saying he wanted to get rid of anyone who might bother us. The wedding was by Lake Michigan, and Eli had planned every detail. He'd picked out my wedding dress himself. This style slims your figure. You'll look good in photos, so you won't complain about looking fat later. He chose the sunset spot I loved, but insisted, fewer tourists this season. Less trouble, no need to deal with crowds. Even the wedding favors had my mom's favorite floral tea in them. My assistant bought the wrong thing, he said, gruff as ever. Might as well use them, no point throwing them away. On the wedding day, I walked toward Eli in my white dress, stepping onto the lakeside lawn. The lake breeze lifted my veil. He reached out to steady me, his fingers trembling slightly. When we exchanged rings, his voice was as firm as ever, but there was warmth in it too. Elena, you're mine, for life. If you ever try to run again, I'll turn the whole world upside down to find you. I nodded, smiling through my tears. He wiped them away awkwardly, his tone softening. Why are you crying? Today's a happy day. Applause broke out around us. I saw my mom and Eli's mom chatting, their hands clasped. Kael and Luna were chasing each other on the lawn. Kai stood a little way off, waving at us with a smile. Only then did I realize, all his stubbornness had hidden a gentle heart. All his gruff words had been fear of rejection. After all these twists and turns, I finally understood, the best kind of love isn't grand gestures. It's when someone says, don't flatter yourself, with their mouth, but uses their actions to plan every detail of your future, protecting you, caring for you, and holding on to you, no matter what.